up on your practice, reset your pins. I want to thank parents and spectators again for your donation at the front gate towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation. 100% of that money is going straight to Make-A-Wish. We really thank you for your participation. And also from all of us here at the Hoosier Classic, we want to thank you bowlers. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You guys are awesome. It's a pleasure to work with you guys every year. I know we've been doing it. I've been doing it for about 14 years now, and I'm looking forward to a few more. Anyway, when the scores are up, you guys may begin your Baker rounds.
One, two, three, Titans!
TV on three. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. See you! What do you bring in the right, Chad? 1, 2, 3.
Good morning and welcome back to Bowl TV. It seems like we just finished doing this. We're coming to you live from the 2017 Hoosier Classic, presented by Columbia 300, H2M Management, Logo Infusion, here at Western Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. And this is the final block of men's qualifying. Today's competition will feature 15 games of Baker, and the total pinfall from yesterday's 6 traditional games will be all added together to determine the 8 teams that will advance to the Baker match play bracket. Our defending champion on the men's side, Lindenwood, is going to have some work to do in these 15 Baker games. A few spots out of that top 8 but definitely within range. We got a new pattern for today as well. Definitely, definitely one worth looking at. It's 37 feet in length, but when you look at the graph, it's essentially two different patterns. One for the right side, one for the left side. Using a different conditioner on each side. The lefties are on the Kegel T oil. The right-handers, or I should say the right side of the lane, has the Kegel C oil, so something a little different. So in talking to our lane guru, Nick Hoagland, kind of gave us some ideas on what to expect here. So we'll talk about those a little bit later throughout the day. But we've posted the graph on the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page. If you find your way there, if you haven't liked the page, please do so. We would greatly appreciate that. But in the very first post, live now on Bowl TV, the final round of men's qualifying at the 2017 Hoosier Classic in Indianapolis. If you look in the comment section, you will find that graph. So there's a chance to look at it. We also have a few links at the bottom of the description. Below the video there, not only do we have the schedule, but a place where you can find standings and more about the event. Either the Hoosier Classic or H2M Management Facebook pages will give you more information. But yeah, let's settle in. Let's meet our teams. On 71 and 72, we have Campbellsville and Wright State. On 73 and 74, Bowling Green and Wisconsin-Oshkosh. So how this will work today, as we mentioned, 15 total Baker games today. So these teams will bowl 5 of those games on this pair, or on the pair that they're on. So for Campbellsville, since they're on 71, they'll bowl game 2 on 72, game 3 on 71, game 4 on 72, and then back to 71 for game 5. So we'll have kind of 3 tiny blocks of teams coming here. And you can find that schedule at the, or in the description below the video. We'll have a recap of yesterday's 6 traditional games for both the men and the women in just a few moments. But for those of you up bright and early here in the States, we certainly appreciate the continued support here on Bowl TV, as do these student athletes. So thank you. Already a few familiar names in the chat room. Good morning to everybody. Sit tight. Game 1 underway here at the 2017 Hoosier Classic in Indianapolis. Nice start to the day for Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Getting to 200, 204 to be exact. Question in the chat for Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Men's teams are allowed to have ladies on the team if they're unable to have enough folks to make a women's team. So a mixed team is always entered into the men's division. So that's that is why. One of the most famous examples of that would be Missy Parkin. And she competed for Fresno State. I believe they had a women's team the first 2 or 3 years that she bowled, and then they just did not end up having enough to field a team, so she ended up joining the men's team, helped lead them to the ITCs, and she ended up being named the tournament MVP on the men's side since she was competing for a men's team back in 2003. So something we've seen here throughout the years. 169 for Bowling Green, 200 on the nose for Campbellsville. Well, if there's a place for a 710, it's right there. Wright State, 163. Taking a look at the men's standings from yesterday's 6 traditional games. Calumet out of Whiting, Indiana, paced the way. They were out of the top 5 through the first 3 games. Scores relatively low across the board on the men's side on the 45-foot condition they bowled on yesterday. Not a single team was plus after 3 games. That's when Calumet made their move and found something out there. Shot 12 of 14 in game 4, so that's better than a 240 clip as a team. Very impressive to catapult into the top spot. They never relinquished and actually built their lead. They're in the books at 62-75, more than 140 pins ahead of Wisconsin Whitewater and William Patterson, who are tied for second with 61-32. Weber International in 4th, excuse me. 61.05. Midland in 5th, 6,092. Robert Morris, Illinois in 6th, 60.83. St. Francis, Illinois, 59.89. And St. John's currently holding on to the final spot in 8th place at 59.65. The first team out at the moment, Huntington, 59.45. Followed by Newman in 10th, 59-13. Highland at Community College, 59-02. Davenport 58-85. Morehead State 58-59. And our defending champions find themselves 113 pins out. Lindenwood in 14th place at 58-52. Individually, Weber's Corey Lenz started right here on Bull TV with the 278 game. That paced him for the rest of the day as he took home the top men's spot in the individual standings, finishing with a 1387 total for 6 games. That's about a 231 and change clip. Lindenwood Belleville's Tim Heyman and Midland's Nick Pate tied for second, 1353. While Pikeville's Andrew Letcher at 1335 and William Patterson's Steve Katowski at 1333 also earned spots on the all-tournament team. So in previous years at this event, it was 9 traditional games. So 6 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. They kind of changed the format up here in 2017, adding the Baker element to it here on Sunday. Actually, Sunday is all Baker. So we know our all-tournament team already for both the men and the women. In the women's standings, Lindenwood moved into the top spot in the final game, taking the lead with a 6,011 total. St. Ambrose sits in second with 6,003. Newman's in third, 59.40. Weber International in fourth at 59.18. And Wichita State, 58.51. It was a clean sweep for the Warriors. In the individual standings, Weber's Anna Anderson edged Lindenwood's Amanda Garavette for the top spot. Anderson 13.04. Garavette 1300 on the nose. Newman's Kelly Mahacek 1296. Urbana's Mo Demers 1280, and St. Ambrose Kayla Crawford at 1273, also on the all-tournament team. Question in the chat concerning the mixed teams. Can't work the other way. It does not. And then will St. John's be on camera today? It does not appear. They'll be scheduled for this block of Baker games. However, they can earn their spot into the Baker match play bracket, and certainly a possibility then. We'll have 4 matches going on to start, so we'll have at least 2 of those. So 50-50 chance if they make the bracket, but it doesn't appear at the moment they are scheduled to. Make the feature pairs today. 155 in game 2 for Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Campbellsville also finishes with 155, a fill ball away from Bowling Green to get to 140. Wright State working on a few strikes. He's going to need a hook. So these teams a little further back in the standings to start today. Campbellsville the highest overall in 40th. Be a little bit too much ground to make up here to get into the top 8. It's always fun to spend some time on Bull TV though. One to 76 for Wright State. They'll switch lanes, head into game 3. right, wrapping up game number 3 of 5 for this first block of Baker games. Campbellsville, Wright State, Bowling Green, and Wisconsin-Oshkosh joining us to kick things off here on Bowl TV at the 48th annual Hoosier Classic. Today's pattern 37 feet in length, but definitely a unique look. Different oils on the left side of the lane versus the right side. The new Kegel T on the left, Kegel C on the right. This is brand new stuff, folks. This has kind of been the testing ground, the first major field test for these new Kegels, or these new Kegel oils. Haven't even been really named yet, so maybe you're familiar with fire, ice, curve. So we still haven't got an official name yet. Who knows? There might be some tweaking to it all after they see how it plays out here at Western. 137 for Bowling Green, 159 for Wisconsin-Oshkosh. As they'll switch lanes once again. One of the interesting things with this pattern being used is that volume-wise, there's about 30% less on the left side. So the intent is kind of for the lefties to see the transition at the same time as the right-handers. Nice shot there from Campbellsville in the second. Liked it off his hand. 37 feet, the length of this pattern for this Baker portion. It'll be a different pattern once we get to the match play bracket, but 37 feet definitely allows for a bigger variety in angles to play. So yesterday on 45 foot, we, especially on the right side, saw a lot of the players in a similar zone, just kind of waiting and biding their time for the pattern to open up on the right side. A lot of volume yesterday. Across the house, teams electing several strategies to attack this pattern. Chance for 225 here for Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Game 4. They started off with a 203, 204. Had some struggles in Game 2 and Game 3, but finding a nice look here. Get a little more comfortable with this pattern. Drop that max down to 205 after the 4-pin. This is your first time tuning in for Baker Bowling. We'll give you a quick rundown of that. It's essentially one team game, 10 frames. But instead of it being rolled by just one player, it's rolled by 5. So in order to have a good game, it really has to be a team effort. You gotta rely on each player to make a quality shot, get to the pocket, cover their spares, and communicate what they see to their teammates. So in the Baker format, the player who leads off will bowl the first and the 6th frame. The player who bowls in the 2nd frame bowls that and the 7th. The player will bowl the 3rd and the 8th, 4th and the 9th, and 5th and the 10th. So generally, you'll see the team's top player in frame number 10. Hoping to have that extra shot or two. Nice 205 for the Titans of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Bowling Green can get to 189 still. Pace is slowed down a little bit on 71 and 72. For those of you looking ahead to the second block, we'll have Lincoln Memorial and Fresno State on 71 and 72. And Central Oklahoma and St. Francis, Illinois at 73 and 74. St. Francis, Illinois was in the top 8 heading into this Baker block, so be interesting to see where they're sitting at afterwards. I believe teams are turning in their score sheets after they finish their 5 games, so we really won't have updates to the standings until after that. As soon as we get them, we'll let you know. Wright State finishes with 191. Washout in the 10th for Campbellsville. And 162 finish. All right, one more game to go for this first Baker block. They got the names changed. And we're already on our way on 73 and 74. Already going to be a third done with this block at the conclusion of this game. 15 games. Baker definitely going to go quicker, just in general. Definitely going to lead to some excitement later today. We get into that bracket. Everything on the line here. The title. Chance to sign that masking unit. You actually can't see the masking unit that's going to get signed for the 48th edition of this great tournament. That's over in the middle of the house, actually, but you see above lane 71 and 72. That is last year's featured masking unit signed by our defending champions, Lindenwood on the men's side and Wichita State on the women's side for the Lady Shockers. They've won this event 3 consecutive years, hoping to make it 4 in 2017. Definitely one teams look forward to all season long. It's the final regular season event for a lot of these teams, the final Tier 1. As well, of course, the prestige. But it's also a great tune-up for the postseason. Sectionals will be held in 4 locations throughout the United States starting in March. It's actually about a month from today. And the advances from that for both teams and individuals will make their way to Baton Rouge, Louisiana from April 18th through the 22nd for the Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships. Going to be held in a convention center setting at the Raising Cane's River Center, which will also be home of the USBC Women's Championships. So that's the reason they're building out the lanes there. It's an empty convention center right now, but Greg Moore and his team just getting on site, starting the build process. So going to be excited to see that venue unfold. 44 lanes going to be built in a custom venue. The world's largest mobile LED scoreboard. Nice 710 kick out there for Bowling Green. To help kick things off, we'll have a few great collegiate events, not only the ITCs and the ISCs, but the NCAA Bowling Championships will be held there from April 13th through the 15th. But one of the reasons the Hoosier is a great warm-up, not only the sellout crowds here, we have maxed out on capacity as we usually do. 78 men's teams, 66 women's teams in the field. Always a waiting list too. But they implement some of the postseason rules as well. You don't get to see the pattern in the postseason. Teams didn't get to see this one until an hour before practice. There's always a ball limit at these events as well. That'll be the same as ITCs and ISCs. And something different for this year is players are not allowed to adjust the surface after the start of the warm-up session. So they have all that time beforehand to do whatever they wish, but when practice time starts, Aprilon pads go away. And you gotta hope, A, you made the right choices for what you want to see out there, and B, definitely makes you go into your physical game a little bit more. If you're not seeing what you want, you can't necessarily hit it with a little bit more grit, a little less grit. Have to find a way to do that through speed, rev rate, tilt. So it really challenges you to become a complete player on these tough sport conditions. We see there from Wright State. Definitely multiple ways to attack this pattern. But that's one of the things you generally see in this kind of pattern range, kind of that 37, 38, 39 foot range. We'll see players take a variety of angles. Great shot there from Bowling Green, almost a 7-9. Wright State finishing off this block of 5 Baker games the right way. They gained some momentum going into their next block of 5. .194, Wisconsin-Oshkosh, Bowling Green 173. Mark at 213 for Wright State. So now it's just Campbellsville. Got the whole featured pair to them, or featured pairs to themselves. Finishing up game 5 at the 7th frame at the moment. So again, a big thanks to everyone for joining us throughout the weekend. Now we appreciate it, as do these student athletes. A lot of great companies involved, a lot of great people involved in this event. Of course, 48th Annual Hoosier Classic presented by Columbia 300. Also got on the tournament logo there, H2M Management and Logo Infusion. A lot of great work with Make-A-Wish this week as well. Raised a lot of money for that great organization. Thanks to the staff here at Western Bowl, putting in some long hours. One of our favorite centers to come to. We've done quite a few events here over the years, and always appreciate their staff helping us out, making sure we're good, as well as competitors on the lanes. The guys who really put their blood, sweat, and tears into the Hoosier: Nick Hoagland, Bo Shipley, Dylan Murphy, Steve Harmon, Nick Harishny. I always feel like I'm forgetting a few guys, but even if I am, hope they know we appreciate the hard work they do. They look forward to this event all year. Put in a lot of time and effort to make things right, and I think they're just excited to crown a champion and watch them sign that masking unit as the winners are, knowing what those athletes went through to really get there. 3 tough patterns, some long days. A chance to take home this title lasts forever. All 3 in the 10th for Campbellsville, 159 and block 1 in the books here on Bowl TV on lanes 71 through 74. We'll wait for our next group of competitors coming up next here on Bowl TV. A few of them already here on the lanes. Block 2, Lincoln Memorial, Fresno State, Central Oklahoma, and St. Francis, Illinois. Coming up next here on Bowl TV. Don't go too far. Second 5-game block coming up next here on Bowl TV. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be here all day till we crown champions on both the men's and women's side. Block 2 coming up next. Block 2 out of 3 here. Once again, 15 total Baker games this morning. Now underway. It's the second 5-game block. Joining us here on 71 and 72, we have Lincoln Memorial and Fresno State. On 73 and 74, Central Oklahoma and St. Francis, Illinois. As I mentioned earlier, St. Francis is in the top 8 in the men's standings, which is where you want to be. After 6 traditional games yesterday, the question is, can they hold on and prove that position to get into the match play portion of the event? All 78 teams come back for the 15 Baker games. That's part of qualifying, but then we got to make a cut. So for 70 of the teams on the lanes right now, this is it for their regular season. Maybe a few conference events still, but nice shot there, Lincoln Memorial. Getting frisky with the pin carry here early on a Sunday morning. So they were collecting scores after each block, so Dylan Murphy and company getting those entered into the system, and as soon as we have them, we'll let you know. We'll give you a rundown, kind of see how those top 8 are faring here on this 37-foot condition. A very unique looking graph. You can find it on the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page. In the comments for the post, letting you know about this live stream going on. I believe it starts with live now on Bowl TV. Possibly a hashtag in there too, because that's what the kids do nowadays. Hashtag. But got a picture of it there. 37 feet in length. And we're using 2 different conditioners on it. So it's almost a different oil is on each side of the lane. So pretty much more or less split down the middle. The left side has the Kegel T conditioner. Right side has Kegel C, both brand new oils. This is really the first major test for them. They're so new, they haven't even been named. I'm sure the good folks at Kegel will come up with something good once they get to their final product. So looking at the volume of this pattern, talking to our lane guru, Nick Hoagland, said volume-wise, there's about 30% less on the left side of the lane. So the idea behind that, to kind of have the lefties see the transition as quickly as the right-handers. So we'll get to see how that plays out here. We're just about done with game 1. Lincoln Memorial 2:04 to kick things off. 194 for Central Oklahoma, 184 for St. Francis. Final shot from Fresno State here. Looking to get to 182. Let's call it 180. Game one in the books. We'll go ahead, switch lanes. St. Francis and Central Oklahoma already in game two. Well-deserved round of applause for Big Mike. Taking some camera time here. Taking care of that deadwood over on 71. We told him he was going to be famous after this week. He spent some time here on Bowl TV. Strikes have slowed down a little bit here in game 2 of block 2. A few doubles from Fresno State. But overall, some miscues from all 4 teams. Central Oklahoma finishes up at 158. Not striking, the open frames catch up quickly. All right, we got results after 5 games now. Calumet look to extend their lead on the competition. Taking a look at the scores real quickly. Not a lot of folks plus in the early going here on the fresh 37-foot condition. Just three teams averaging better than 200 in their first 5 games. But Calumet 991, just a hair under that 200 average. Extends their lead 72-66. William Patterson is second with 70-88. Weber International moves into third overall with 70-23. Wisconsin Whitewater drops to fourth with 716. Midland is fifth, 69-83. Robert Morris, Illinois, sixth, 69-15. St. John's moves up a spot, 69-10. And now in the top 8, Morehead State, who actually had the high Baker block out of everyone, shooting 1,030 for their first 5, make a big jump at 68-89. They are 1 pin ahead of St. Francis, Illinois for that final spot at the moment. Sitting in 10th, Vincennes. One of the teams that cracked 1,000 as well. They're at 68-61. Newman in 11th at 68-38. Lindenwood Belleville at 68-09, and Highland Community College 68-02. So those are the teams within 100 of that final spot. With 10 games left. St. Francis has had some early miscues here. At 73 and 74, just 1 pin out, so they can certainly together a big finish here for the final 3 games. Keep the pressure on. So St. Francis, Illinois, 184-169 so far for their first 2 games here in Block 2. This is Game 3. We'll see if they can find the right combination, gain some momentum heading into that last Baker block. For those of you looking for those standings I rattled off just a few minutes ago, we have a few links to that below the video here on YouTube. If you look in the description underneath the schedule, we have 2 links to Facebook pages, the Hoosier Classic page and H2M Management. Either one will get you there, so be sure to check those out. We have a picture of the lane graph on the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page. Check it out in the comments of the post announcing that we were live here on Bowl TV. And of course, keep your eye on bowl.com. Facebook, Twitter at USBC. When we're all said and done here today, we'll have periodic updates throughout the course of the day. Let the people know who's going to be making it to that Baker bracket. Of course, a recap at the end of the day with our champions. 149 for Central Oklahoma here in game 3. $169 for Lincoln Memorial. Tenth frames for St. Francis and Fresno State, both looking to get into the 170s here. Double for St. Francis, good count. Final shots here at game 3. Game 4 coming up next at block 2 here at the 2017 Hoosier Classic, taking place at Western Bowl. In Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. Before you know it, we're going to know our teams on the men's side for Baker bracket. The women will be bowling shortly after they re-oil. We will not have that qualifying block here on Bowl TV because it's going at the same time as the men's bracket, but we'll have the women's bracket as soon as they wrap up. We have crowned a men's champion, so a lot going on today. We'll do our best to keep everyone up to date as quickly as we can on what's going on. Still trying to figure out the Snapchat situation. St. Francis, Illinois, finally finding some momentum here. One pin out of the top 8 heading into this block. Started with 5 in a row. 4-9 spread on the 6. Now looking at the baby split here in frame number 7. Central Oklahoma working on 4 in a row, looking to make it 5. Lincoln Memorial already in the 10th frame here. They can get to 179. A few quick questions. First off, the pattern, 37 feet in length. You can find the graph posted on the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page. In the comment section for the post about this live stream. And to answer John's question, I think we actually have a variety at the moment. Some of these schools a little bit smaller, but some of the schools you mentioned also have bowling teams. Ohio State, our colleague Matt Cannizzaro was a standout at Florida, leading them to the ITCs way back when Matt was in school, just many years ago compared to me. But yeah, definitely a good variety here. For a lot of these teams getting the opportunity to start a program might be a little bit easier at some of the smaller colleges. But they can certainly build them up, and unlike other sports, when you think of basketball or football, the opportunity to kind of be on a level playing field, regardless of what Division 1, Division 2, that nature, really is irrelevant here at this stage. We've seen some colleges with some pretty small overall numbers make impressive runs here, win championships as well. At the same time, we got some of the bigger schools here. As well, we'll actually have Ohio State, I believe, on in the final game, since we use that example. They'll be on 73 and 74 along with Toledo. So I think it's a good mix here. Not what St. Francis was hoping for in the 10th open. Unable to convert the 4-7. 233, still a great number. With the standing so close, you need every pin, but that's a big boost in confidence. They're not getting out of the gates too great here on 73 and 74 for the first 3 games. Central Oklahoma also finding it here in game 4. They can actually match that effort of .233 with 2 more strikes. Fresno State in the books, 164. Lincoln Memorial, 179. As they prepare for their final game of this block. 223, Central Oklahoma. Two real nice games there. On 73 and 74. Fifth and final game coming up next. Here of Block 2, Block 3. We'll be here before you know it. All right, this is the fifth and final game here of Block 2 of 3. Lincoln Memorial, Fresno State, Central Oklahoma, and St. Francis, Illinois. And they get some pins here. St. Francis, Illinois, the one we're kind of keeping tracks on, as they were just outside the top 8, just by one pin heading into this. Had a big 233 last game. Seeing if they can keep the momentum going here. Early open in the second. To Keith's question in the chat, on the NCAA side for the women, there's definitely some incentives and funding that goes to those programs. It's about 50%. We actually have Gary Brown sitting right here, so said some schools are able to provide scholarships, some do not. It's really a school by school basis. But it's about 50% though. Chris's question about seeing additional cameras up to allow more teams to be viewed. At the moment, this is kind of the setup of what's going to be in the future. Not only we have to look at investing in more equipment, which obviously could happen, but it's really up to, when we come to a center, it's up to kind of what they can provide us as far as bandwidth to be able to put one of these on. So some places have a ton and could probably support multiple live streams going at the same time. Others where it's possible to maybe just get one going. So it's really a center by center basis on what they provide us to work with. Here at Woodland, we've actually have run multiple before for junior gold this past summer. But for this event, we just got the one kid out here. Of course, the manpower also necessary to get a few of these going at once, just to make sure everything's functioning the way it needs to. And yes, in the instance where a women's team cannot be filled, they are allowed to compete on the men's side, or on the men's team, I should say, in the mixed team. Mixed teams do have to compete in the men's division. I'd like to welcome my man, Emil Williams Jr. into the booth. He's been running around, staying busy here. Emil, welcome, good morning. Say good morning to all the good folks on Bull TV.
Good morning.
They miss you.
Good convo. Saw some of the questions.
It's been good all week in the chat room.
They've been spectacular. Talked about that a little bit yesterday.
Very engaging, a lot of good questions. Hopefully we've given a lot of good answers. But we certainly appreciate that. We do our best to get you the information.
A couple of those in regards to the funding portion, yes, certainly depends on or varies on per university, per school, scholarships and what have you. It may not be called a scholarship, it could be called something different, but it serves the same purpose. Fresno State, it's actually odd to see them not have a mixed team. They've had a strong men's and women's program, or a program, and then stronger men's and women's teams for as long as I can remember.
Going back to what you talked about a little bit earlier, Missy Parkin back in 2003, after their women's team, unfortunately, they didn't have enough folks to keep the team going. So Missy just moved on to the men's team and not only helped Fresno State to the ITC, she ended up being named the tournament MVP. So that's been going on for a while here on the collegiate scene. So definitely don't want to take away the opportunity for these young student athletes to compete.
There's generally several options just across the collegiate bowling landscape. More times than not, if you want to bowl, there's generally a situation that would fit your needs. And it could be, in a smaller program, it could be in a larger program. There's some schools who used to be able to carry, or used to and still do carry, a significant amount of players. Over the years, the roster sizes have decreased a little bit just to provide other teams or other programs, that same level of talent acquisition. So,
I was going to say most of the events also have a junior varsity division. This is one of them that does not. So these are all varsity teams out here. So for the coaches, programs, it's up to them to decide the best 7 or 8 players to bring on out.
Which can be tough sometimes. That could be a tough choice, tough decision. Been in some rooms. We gotta make the call, or you hear the call made, and you receive the news like other people.
St. Francis wants to end this game with 2:14, needs to end this game with 2:14. After some struggles out of the gates.
Talked about their young program yesterday when we had the girls on last night. Men's program trying to do the same as the women's, break through. Get that confidence.
Asking for it to hook, gets it.
Big shot.
3 in a row, 2:14 still out there. Central Oklahoma in the books 177, Fresno 149, Lincoln Memorial 139. This 37-foot pattern definitely has been tricky for our competitors so far. The lanes 71 through 74. St. Francis 233 last game. So again, we're just 1 pin out of the top 8 heading into this block. That one not going to hold.
That one read really early. But spare opportunity here will at least allow them to gain a couple this game. No matter what, they won't lose any this game. There's a positive. It's fair.
202 plus 35 those last 2 games for St. Francis. On 5 games to go, we'll get a look at the standings as soon as we get them up. All similar to yesterday, all teams have to turn in the score sheet, so it's kind of dependent on how quickly everyone across the house gets done. But as soon as we have them, our man on the keys this weekend, Dylan Murphy. He's been doing a great job getting those to us quite quickly and to you quickly. So we appreciate all the hard work from him, the entire staff, H2M management, Western Bowl.
Gary Brown.
Especially Gary Brown. Saw that guy on an airplane.
He's a frequent flyer too.
Frequent flyer, yes. Sitting next to Bob Knight, trading war stories with the general. So that's going to do it, block 2. We're going to wait for our next group of competitors here. McKendree and San Jose State on 71 and 72. Ohio State and Toledo on 73 and 74. Final block of qualifying for the men here at the 2017 Hoosier Classic, presented by Columbia 300. I'm Aaron Smith. He's Emil Williams Jr., and we'll be right back here on Bowl TV.
73 and 74, of course, off and running. The Ohio State and Toledo, those two Ohio institutions. About 2.5 hours apart from one another. This is game one of block 3. On 71 and 72, we will have McKendree and are awaiting the arrival of San Jose State. McKendree, of course, the defending men's ITC champions. Defeated runner-up William Patterson. William Patterson is on 75 and 76, just to the right of Toledo, so you'll see them periodically into your screen. Far right side. Of course, every pin matters at this point. It always does. But when you're trying to earn a spot into the top 8, this is not the only way to do that. These last 5 games will be pivotal. You can make up a lot of ground. You can also lose ground that amount of time, certainly. All right, San Jose State making their way down now to the pair. On 73. Ohio State, a couple opens. Trying to double up here in the 8th frame. Good shot from the southpaw. Wraps the 7th in.
I'd like to welcome San Jose State and McKendree, now underway in Block 3. Spare in the 10th. Ohio State can get to 174. Toledo working on a 4-bagger. Unable to connect in the foundation frame, though, leaves the bucket. Question in the chat about Adam Barta. Good friend of ours, a great ambassador for the sport of bowling. But I am not 100% sure if he competed collegiately or not.
Good question. I thought I read one time somewhere that maybe he did not, but I can't confirm that at all.
What I can confirm, though, is he does strike a lot.
There's no doubt about that. He has confirmed that on many occasions.
Welcome in the chat to Dan Wolleson. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Bowl TV. Hope all is well. My buddy Dan just had his family get a little bit bigger in the past few days. So,
how about that?
So congratulations, Dan. Hope
That's
everybody
fantastic.
is well.
Congratulations, Dan.
170 in the books for Ohio State. Toledo, 185 with a strike on the fill. My goal in this block, Emil, is to spell Toledo correctly every time. I did not do that when we started off yesterday. In my switched a letter. I believe I switched the E and the D around in my. Did not notice it. So it said Toledo.
It's, you know, it's one of those where you say, but that's terrible. How could you do that? I mean, that's an easy one to, you know, you don't misspell that. But then that's also one where you go, it's very easy to misspell. Just when you go type it, it's like, boop, boop, boop.
Luckily, someone pointed it out, and like, oh, my bad. So we made the adjustment. But I'll have 3 more opportunities after this to spell it correctly. So we're 2 for 2 so far. also have results through 10. Starting to see some big scores up there. We see 3 teams plus at least. Go to the second page. 4 teams plus in that second block. Highlighted by Weber International moving into second with 1090. They're now only 5 pins behind Calumet for the overall lead. Tough block for the Crimson Wave, shooting 852. They're at 81-18. Weber International now at 81-13. Sitting in third, Midland also cracked 1,000, 1,058, 80-41. Wisconsin-Whitewater in fourth. 8,008, so 4 teams plus. William Patterson, 1 pair to our right at 79-81 in fifth. St. Francis, those final 2 games actually helped them move up in the standings. So not a lot of, they finished that block with 959, and looking around them, that was one of the bigger sets in the top 10 at the moment in that second block. So they got tricky there. But St. Francis at 78-47. Robert Morris, Illinois in 7th, 77-92. And Morehead State holding on to that last spot. 77-72, 12 pins ahead of St. John's, 77-60. And then Sens, 77-44. Lindenwood Belleville, 77-43. Pikeville, 77-41. Newman, 77-31. So those first few spots got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams within 40 pins of that final spot.
Well, the first part of the excitement today should about to take place. No doubt about that.
So looking a little further down in the standings, Wichita State, 76-82. So they're within 100 with 5 to go. Our defending champion Lindenwood 1 spot behind in 16th at 76-80.
A lot can happen in 5 games.
So our top 8, Calumet, Weber, Midland, Wisconsin-Whitewater, William Patterson, St. Francis, Illinois, Robert Morris, Illinois, and Morehead State. St. John's first team out.
And it led the tournament. Or were leading at one point yesterday.
Leading after 3 games, yes. Looking around us right now, we have William Patterson 1 pair to our right. Weber 1 pair to our left. So the Warriors, the big block in block 2. Did not see what they shot there first game of Baker, but they can get into the 220s here in game 2. This 5-game block. So Weber, the top-ranked team in the nation, looking to get that top spot in the bracket here at the Hoosier. Appreciate the help there, Don. Knew if anyone had the answer, you'd be able to help us out. 226 for Weber, 213 in game 2, so the Warriors are rolling.
Both teams struggling on 71 and 72 to begin. 55 for McKendree. Max score of 150, and now max score of 140. From San Jose State, it's Michael Tang. Michael Mace to spare. Trying to get lined up here, find something on this pair. You know, the first couple of shots for San Jose State did seem to have some struggles with the approaches. Let's see if McKendree will experience anything similar. Shot there, nice aggressive shot from Tang. Sometimes the cruel thing about Baker, you can spend a game trying to get lined up. Of course, you don't get very many shots, obviously. And then you feel like you finally, you throw it well enough. Maybe you threw it okay, and then you throw one good. That's it, and then you go to the next lane. And it could be completely different.
Yep, gotta kind of keep your head on a swivel. Not only pay attention to what's going on your lane, obviously know you're going to switch. Try to let that team you're crossing with give you some information as well. I mean, I don't know. You would know better from your time on the lanes. Teams do that a lot. Was that, or is it just kind of figured out on your own, or were you chatting with other guys? Hey, what's going on over there, guy?
I can't say that people were willing to give information that would be advantageous.
Which is perfectly understandable.
Yeah, I mean, really trying to think if I recall a time where someone said, the other team, or even someone from our team said, yeah, why don't you go about a 5 and 2 on this lane when you come over. And generally, I can't think of a situation, even though everything's not match play. Like, this isn't match play right now, but everyone's still your opponent in a sense. So it's kind of one of those things. You certainly watch. I mean, you know what's happening on the left lane, at least from a visual perspective, where you have an idea, and that's certainly kind of sparks a team discussion, if necessary, on what to do. Go over to the next lane, especially like in this situation, there's 5 games, and so you're going to hit both lanes at least twice and 1 3 times. Now you're definitely looking at trying to figure out, moves for, the future game on that pair, or excuse me, on that lane.
That eruption, a 4-6-7 conversion from Weber. Get a pin back up on the deck, knocking out the 6.
Already excited for sectional nationals. This portion of the event really gets it going for me. It just brings back a lot of good memories, and it's just like a switch. When you see competitive Baker play, you just know what's on the line down the road.
Yeah, you can already kind of hear the team starting to get a little louder, get a little more amped up here, especially those still in the mix. As you mentioned with Weber, just 5 pins back of Calumet College for the top spot after a big second block. So looking to carry on that momentum, earn that #1 spot in the Baker bracket.
Start to keep in mind who to look out for down the road when it's sectionals time. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. A fun thing actually when we got on collegebowling.com, we're talking about the site from Carl Nicolai, and he's had it for a very long time. I think since he at least began coaching as a coach at Michigan State for quite some time. But there used to be a lot of activity in the forums where people would choose and kind of select who they thought would make it out of the respective sectionals. And so that was always fun to just kind of get an idea of what other players or, in some cases fans, visitors to the site, people with some sense and knowledge of college bowling to give kind of their opinion. I mean, it's all opinion based, obviously, and their selections on player of the year, rookie of the year, those type of postseason awards also. But again, generally you've got to select the select teams in mind who you think will make it, and then kind of those, the 4 to 5 teams that could play the spoiler. Yeah, it's very much like the basketball March Madness where there's going to be some teams that are going to play some spoiler and come out with the upset and see what they can do in the big dance, if you will. We've seen that before.
Certainly that element lives on in the ITCs, even though there is a qualifying portion. Kind of doesn't matter We've seen teams who have struggled big time in the qualifier kind of figure out this is what didn't work, and all of a sudden come across something that does work. And you know, when you get into those matches, everybody starts fresh as it is, and all momentum can quickly change hands. And we saw it at the ITC Championship matches where we got McKendree and William Patterson around us. McKendree didn't look like they were liking what was happening there those first two games. Certainly so. They were down 2-0 and just found a way to get back, win the game 3, move on from there, knock out game 4, and then take it in the decider.
You look at the standings, talked about it a little bit, the team scores and the standings after Block 2. And you see, again, some well-known programs not in the top 8. And, you know, that's what the Hoosier does. The Hoosier will knock you down. It can be so difficult, but you got to be able to kind of maneuver through, see what you can come up with. It's never over until it's over. So again, with so many games in a block, if you get lined up, and on the flip side, if someone else is struggling, a couple teams happen to struggle, you may find yourself bridging that gap a little quicker than you thought, and end up making the top 8. But it still can be difficult. It's a difficult challenge. '78 of the best, and then top 8, essentially going for a title.
Defending ITC champions having a little fun out there.
They are.
They're
going to keep it loose.
At this point in 28th place overall. More than 200 pins out, so that's gonna say, especially with the start they had, probably an unlikely jump into the front 8 or front 8, top 8.
But they're keeping the attitude that they should have, though. Staying loose, having fun.
Well, they're still top dog.
They are, until someone knocks them out. They are the top dog, and so, you know, they struggle a little bit early on. You know, they say, hey, maybe good things will happen on this pair. If they don't, take it, learn from it, and move on to the next challenge, which would be sectionals. The other part about sectionals is everyone crowds around the computer. And that should take place this week. Coming up, or at least later in the week, I think. It's really not too long after the Hoosier where the numbers are crunched and locations are decided. That was always kind of fun. You get out of class and go right to the Bolden Center. First of all, there's already been communication amongst the team. Hey, did you hear anything? Hey, did you hear anything? Yo, is anything going on? What they say? And then not in a selection show type setting, if you will, but there were some elements of that where, you know, most of the team is probably together at some point. We all just dive in on the computer screen and either go, you know, similar situations as far as what fun that McKendree's having right now with, you know, just being cool and having fun about the location that you got picked or selected to. Or there could be a little, boy, that's a tough one. There's a lot of great teams there, which happens.
And, you know, you talk about the forums, that was always a topic of discussion too. I think they would call it the death regional or death sectional, where all of a sudden you kind of look at that thing and you're like, wow, how can you only pick 4 teams out of that? That's and that's just with the talent, with the way everything kind of pans out. You could run into a sectional where you're looking 7, 8 teams deep. And like, this is a toss-up.
You know, and they do what they can to make sure that the sectionals are as even as possible based on, of course, rankings, college bowling.com, and then also the geographic locations as well. But sometimes, you know, you can't really get around. There's a lot of good teams in a particular area, and even after you disperse some, you're still left with a good amount that, you know, that does happen.
Well, you were talking about that Lindenwood in St. Charles, Missouri, but catching a sectional in Las Vegas.
Yep. Yeah, I experienced every region except the East Coast. We never went to the East at all, which generally in Allentown. They've been hosting the regional, or excuse me, sectional for many years. Very experienced crew out there. But that's a good example from a geographical standpoint. Yeah. We would never really go there. We're right in the heart of the Midwest. And that would be a travel for us. But you could also say, well, if you're right in the heart of the Midwest, then what's the difference between going to the East and going to the West?
That's true.
You too, Dylan.
Amen to that. Mott sticks for everybody here at Western Bowl. I think Toledo's earned some the way they've been
Absolutely
striking this game.
Dylan may have missed the context to that, our conversation about the food last evening, but there was a question presented about favorite appetizers. And I had answered the question earlier. Aaron was going off to potentially record a 300 game, but I made sure he answered the question upon his return.
These are facts.
But after thinking about it, and spending a lot of good times with AA Wright, I shot there from Toledo making it happen. I actually caught some good video of this team and their anchor player yesterday on that bowling stamp trip. But nonetheless, you do get the occasional mozzarella stick.
You can get them like at a good price, then it's game on. It's some places tend to overvalue the mozzarella stick. That's happened. That's fine. They're allowed to charge what they'd like. Toledo connects one more time, but But yeah, when you just need a little snack, not too much, not a full meal, that's sometimes irresponsible. Mozzarella sticks, that's a ticket right there. And that's the ticket there, 268.
Nice game.
For Toledo, excellent performance there. Deserves a yowza here in the early morning. It's not even that early anymore, it's almost 11. How did this happen?
Willie P. sitting in 5th after the first 2 Baker blocks. Strike, there should be spare 3-backer. Adrian College started with the front 4. Split in the 5th, and now they'll try to get back on it, and they do in the 6th frame. Really excited about the state of college bowling right now, Aaron. Just looking around, and we've hit on it a couple times a little bit, but teams like Adrian College, Huntington, for example, saw a little bit from Siena Heights yesterday. I mean, some teams and some programs who may not be common names at this moment, but they've got some talent.
Talent level is definitely real out here.
Michael Chang has got some talent.
He's thrown a few strikes in his day.
Saw a couple of players compete at the PBA Players Championship, make the trip on over to Indianapolis. Andrew Anderson was here. In fact, he came back and helped coach the Saginaw Valley women's team after what you could describe certainly as a heartbreaker. Missed the Players TV show, Players Championship by, was it 4 pins?
4 pins.
So they had a Swisher 7-10. Second shot in the 10th frame, final game. I don't think there's any doubt. We talked about it yesterday. He's getting closer, certainly. So they're starting to really come together for him. He's had some really good blocks, as you've witnessed at the Masters. Had some good times there.
Had a nice showing at the U.S. Open back in November as well. So yeah, Andrew kind of on the cusp, but you get so tied up with everything going on here. I'll admit I wasn't paying attention to the Players Championship standings. I had seen some things here and there, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure I'll find out about it at some point. And ran into Andrew last night. Chat with him for a second, and he's like, yeah, I was a pretty good run. Just you know, had a shot at the show, and he's a very humble young man. So
Yeah, great guy, great dude.
So I didn't exactly know how close almost making the show was, and I saw him like 4 pins. I'm like, whoa, this is he undersold it, to say the least. But Andrew actually last year at this event, the individual champion for the men's field. He edged out Calumet's Michael Davidson by a single pin to earn the title here at the Hoosier Classic for 9 games. Averaged 228, 2059 the total. Of course, only 6 games to determine the all-tournament team here in 2017. So those have actually already been awarded. So if you look at the individual standings, the top 5, we'll go ahead and read those off to you one more time as well, since had a question about that in the chat. The all-tournament team, Corey Lenz from Weber International led the way with 1387. Tim Heyman of Lindenwood Belleville and Nick Pate of Midland tied for second at 1353. Andrew Letcher of Pikeville 1335, and Steve Katowski of William Patterson at 1333 was your all-tournament team on the men's side at the Hoosier. All right, Don, if you're keeping score by hand for Weber, they have a 112 in the 7th. That was an open frame. Now shooting at the spare in the 8th frame. So they can max out at 192 with the spare conversion. So this is frame 8. There's far left of your screen. That's the conversion. So 112 in the 7th, spare in frame 8. Max score of 192. So they head into the 9th frame.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's by far the best thing I've ever seen. These guys got done pretty quick over there. Willie Patterson already taking team picks. It's the fastest 5 games I've seen in a while. But nonetheless, the talk of mozzarella sticks. Someone in the chat room, I don't know if they called into the Western Bowl, made a an order by phone for my man A.A. Ron. But mozzarella sticks have arrived here at the Bowl TV booth. Talk about service. And then they even brought them down here. That's wow. Well done. That is classic service. Thank you all. Next, I guess we got to thank Ryan. He started this conversation with the question last night. So if he didn't ask that question, no one would know your favorite appetizer. I don't think he's in the chat today. Maybe he will be this afternoon. Everything to our right has been complete. 75-76 all done. 77-78. I know Adrian College and William Patterson, they were actually doing a fair bit of striking. William Patterson never in any real danger of being knocked out of the top 8. They bowled pretty well that block. So they will be in the bracket.
Emil, would you like a mozzarella stick?
Not at the moment, sir.
Not at the moment.
You go ahead and enjoy those. You've earned them. You have earned them this weekend.
I'll look forward to them. This is between you and I. We've had this happen to both of us now. There's one member of the live stream crew who, as far as I know, has not had food randomly delivered to him.
Yeah, and he always brings it up.
And he always brings
now,
it up.
Now there's another situation we can gloat about.
I'm going to send Mr. Canzaro a photo of this right now. This might be tweet worthy. This is.
No, you got to tweet that. 2-7 split. McKendree here. Billy takes one. McKendree squad lost a couple of valuable seniors last year. Riley Smith certainly went out on top, as well as Ryan Patterson. San Jose State, of course, lost Darren Tang. So you lose anyone of that caliber off the team. They're tough to replace, those type of individuals. Just anxiously awaiting sectionals now. Man.
You're getting excited about this.
I am. Well, we've got a full bracket, a championship to award, or 2 championships, including the women. I'm excited about it, but that's just what it does to you. That's just how it goes, man. You look at the thing taking McKendree, defend their title. Well, a different school come up and make a name or be the highlight of the tournament. Well, a smaller, lesser-known school with the talent in the young program get through sectionals and gonna do the impossible, quote unquote. Which new stars will emerge? Well, Wichita State win their 281st ITC title. No, I'm just playing. Thanks to all who are watching, where you may be watching from. I know we've just right now. Is it Middletown or is it Middleton? I just want to make sure. It says Middletown. Sometimes things are not what they appear to be. Thank you to Garland. Bowling Centers Association of Wisconsin, of course. Yvonne, thank you. Thanks for all you do as well for bowling. In the great state of Wisconsin, where bowling is always looked at in a positive light. Shout out to Youngstown, Ohio. Everyone tuning in to watch Toledo and Ohio State, I guess, huh? from the great state. Is Youngstown State football still top in the FCS? Hello to Brendan watching in Michigan. Depending on his allegiance, he may not like watching Ohio State.
The Ohio State?
I'm already starting something. I'm trying to start trouble.
Uh-oh.
It was rivalry week last weekend in NCAA basketball. Okay. Runner-up Youngstown State, but that means they're still where they need to be as far as football is concerned. So that's good news. Good to hear. Aaron, that's something not football related per se, but just from a level of the level of intercollegiate athletics that you may be a part of. I'd say that, for example, McKendree, for the longest time, at least, again, from my experience up until a few years back, was an NAIA institution. And then as a school, as a university, it moved up to the NCAA and then Division II. And so with that, sometimes there's changes, there's modifications that you have to make to facilities. But Lindenwood went through that as well. Now, it doesn't necessarily have an effect on the bowling program, but it could. So those are the kind of things kind of going back to the early part of the conversation where funding and different things like that. All those kind of behind the scenes, some things do play a role, or can play a role in situations like that. So, but again, goes to show that college bowling is diverse in that regard, where you can have NCAA programs, you can have NAIA programs, you can have club programs at the USBC collegiate level. In that realm, all can compete, and any one of those teams can be crowned a national champion.
Variety, definitely spice of life. Nice 224 from McKendree. In game 3, game 4 underway for Ohio State and Toledo already.
Good shot there from Michael Tate.
He's throwing a lot of quality shots out there since he has gotten to 71 and 72.
Yeah, he found the right ball.
Took a quick second to adjust.
Yep. Field shot, 10th frame. Actually, it was more first shot, 10th frame. Right ball spared, then made a move. Toledo and Ohio State, of course, making the flip. Toledo went double. Had some trouble in the 3rd and 4th frames. Back on it in the 5th. Hello, everyone watching from everywhere in the world. One thing we do know, and one of the cool things about just kind of being a part of what we do, is the wide-ranging audience that we get to interact with. Hello to Jalen, watching in Myrtle Beach. That's on my list still.
Myrtle Beach?
Yes, it is. Heard a lot of great things. Player for Ohio State going out to check the approaches. Had some trouble there. The last time he was on this left lane a game ago. A nice shot. I don't know if he expected that one to get back. He made some things happen. Got a little area out there. Good shot there. Saw the lefty get in. Just testing the approaches of where he doesn't typically slide or hadn't slid since he's been down here.
That's always one of the goals with Mr. Hoagland when he creates these patterns is there are going to be times when you're going to be able to get to your A game, but at other times, going to have to get out of that comfort zone and kind of got to get brave out there and just try some things. Sometimes those gambles don't pay off, but when they do, that's a quality time.
Yeah, it's about being as versatile, as you can be.
Question about the pattern in the chat. Today's condition 37 feet, but definitely a different looking graph. There's actually a different type of Kegel oil used on each side of the lane. So the left side has the new Kegel T oil, which isn't going to be its final name, but a new test condition, and then Kegel C on the right side of the lane. When comparing volume, Nick told me it was about 30% less volume on the left side, so definitely creating some interesting angles. 37 feet in general usually gives players multiple angles to attack as well. Whether or not all the multiple angles are the correct ones, that's the tricky part too. But definitely, when coming out to these events, I feel, you know, that's probably kind of gotten to be a common theme here on the collegiate bowling scene. Just kind of seeing how patterns break down, how much traffic, you know, potentially you're seeing out on the lanes. That practice time is important to just kind of test each zone and kind of see, hey, do we have a look on the gutter today? And maybe it's just a slow progressive process. I'm not sure. Maybe the teams have certain players who go out there, hey, you're going to play between 5 and the gutter. You're going to be in the track area, throw a shot at. They probably don't get much further left. They probably don't want to be starting off at 15 or 20 on most patterns, I would imagine. But I feel there's probably a variety of bowling balls, variety of surfaces, just to see what's going to play, what's going to give you friction out there down lane. But also, you want to keep that pattern around for a while. You don't want to necessarily get too deep too early. I mean, for a few teams, that's their A game. See the lanes open up. They want to get to that point
Quickly.
192 for Toledo here. McKendree still having some fun here.
Just about done. There's a few teams. Looks like still bowling, finishing up. And from maybe about lane 47 to about 56. That block of lanes here in Western Bowl. Toledo finishing up. Just finished up, I should say, 192. Ohio State lefty. Getting in, getting deep, and 7 pin. Second shot of the attempt. Trying to make sure the patterns are fair, playable, they last, they hold up. It's not as easy as it sounds. It's difficult because the talent level so good. Coaches are so good. You know, strategy. Talked about teams being able to wanting to play the lanes a certain way if they have a majority of their group that their A game is a certain thing. If they can get it to that point, I mean, they would absolutely do that. Who wouldn't? Trying to create the best advantage for yourself. And at the same time, that could be disastrous for your opponent, whoever's on the pair with you. Maybe that's not their A game.
Okay, ladies coaches, come to the counter.
63 for Ohio State to finish things up.
For you to pick up.
Now, of course, full frames left here for San Jose State and McKendree. San Jose, a city that I was pleasantly surprised. I had no idea it was one of the largest cities in the world or in the country.
I wouldn't have realized that either. The more you know.
Largest cities, but it's the third largest city in California, and that really got me. I lived in the Bay Area for a little bit. They've got more citizens and residents in San Jose than they do San Francisco.
How about that?
Learn something new every day.
So as we finish up here, we'll get you some times for what's coming up next. We'll have a brief break for oiling. They're going to have to pretty much get the whole house for not only the bracket, but the women's round of qualifying will be going on our final round of qualifying will be going on at the same time.
We have a few more minutes left to register. We have a whole bunch of prizes we want to give away. Tickets are available over here by the lounge. You can still purchase tickets for the raffle.
All right, announcements out of the way. But the women's 15 Baker games and the men's Baker bracket finals going to start at the same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So going to be a little more than an hour from now. And then the women's bracket later today, scheduled to start at 4 p.m. That may change depending on how quickly everything goes on the men's side. I'm not sure, but we'll be prepared either way. So we get to our final few shots. Greg Young delivering the double in the 10th for McKendree. There's Michael Tang in the 10th. San Jose State working on 2 in a row. That one runs high, leaves the 3-6. Final shot, our defending ITC champions. 2-16 for the Bearcats.
Well, again, there's no guarantees, but certainly would expect to see McKendree at ITCs, which would be the next time we would see them live. Same thing with San Jose State. I'll leave you with this in regards to San Jose State, though. You have a player like Michael Tang, that type of player, in a Baker format. Most of the time, 2 would be great. You really need a 2, that good 4-5. I'm in the realm of I'd love to have a good 1-4-5 in my Baker lineup. But if you've got a 5 and someone who can play that 4 and everyone else can fill a role, you don't count out a team like a San Jose State no matter how they finished at this tournament. because the format will allow for them to be in the hunt when you got players like that still. So I think they'll be ready for sections.
Finish up with the 192, and that's going to conclude the second and final round of men's qualifying here at the 2017 Hoosier Classic. As soon as we know our top 8, we'll get a post up on the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page, and then we'll have the cameras ready in about an hour for the start for our match play bracket. So that's going to do it. I got some mozzarella sticks to eat, so I'll let you close it up there, Emil.
You do your thing, sir. You do your thing.
I will.
All right, so for Aaron Smith, tournament staff here, of course, all involved. Again, one more time, just to repeat the times for you, just in case anyone missed it. The Baker games, 15 Baker for the women, will start at 12:15, and the men's Baker bracket finals will start approximately 12:30. So again, 12:15 for the women, 12:30 for the men. We will have the men's bracket finals here on Bowl TV. And I will try to do what I can to gather some reports and things for the broadcast in regards to the women, get some updates for you, so you won't be left in the dark in regards to that. And for those, if we can get some other things going, we'll try to get some other video, et cetera, et cetera. So again, 12:15 women, 12:30 men. We'll have it for you right here. So we'll talk to you folks in a little bit. Stay tuned and keep it locked right here. You're watching the 48th Annual Hoosier Classic presented by Collegiate 300, H2M Management, Logo Infusion, live on Bowl TV.
In the bowling area, yeah. Please hold back. Thank you.